Hello everyone, it's Paola and today I'm doing the After Social Distance Book Fest tag. I had been meaning to do this tag ever since it came out. I don't know when it came out, but ever since that day I really wanted to do it, and then my life took a turn and only now I am able to record the video, so let's get started. The first question is a new author slash book you now want to check out. I would love to check out Jessica Kim's Stand Up Yumi Chung and A Friend Divided by Ernesto Cisneros. These were books that were talked about in the middle grade panel hosted by my lovely friend Joss. I will leave the link down below. And they were honestly the most interesting sounding books that I hadn't heard about, that I only became aware of because of the panel. Question number 2 is most interesting panel. I really enjoyed Julia's panel, the one about Percy Jackson. I will also link it down below. It was just such a fun experience because it was a fan meetup, and fan meetups are always fantastic. They're also very wholesome in my opinion, and I just love all the rave, and I also love all the rave about Percy Jackson. Percy Jackson is arguably my favorite male character ever, and I love that people got to talk about him. Question number 3 is the most interesting panel. I'm going to be completely honest, I was not able to watch a lot of the panels, even to this day, for a variety of reasons. And for that reason, I'm going to be self-centered and say that the most interesting panel was mine. I just had never seen authors talk about their identity and how they managed to weave that into a fantasy book in a way that was relatable to me. And the fact that I got to host it obviously added a lot of bias to me answering this question, but it was one of the most incredible experiences ever. I don't really know what I was expecting from that panel, but it definitely was not that. It was so honest and raw, and I also felt like the authors were being vulnerable, and I value that a whole lot. And for that reason, I thought it was a very interesting panel. Question number 4 is what was the softest slash sweetest panel? Again, I'm going to be self-centered and say the Come Talk Latinx to Me panel. This was a meetup between the hosts of the Con Sabor Challenge, and I was their guest host, and it was just so wholesome. I don't think it was soft. I think it was like pretty hardcore, but it was definitely super sweet. I loved reading the comments. I loved interacting with my friends. I loved everything about it, and it was just a lot of chaotic energy channeled in the most beautiful and wholesome way. Question number 5 is an author you would want to be friends with. All my panelists, honestly, I am trying my hardest not to look like a weirdo on Twitter whenever I like their tweets, or whenever I reply to their tweets, or whenever I interact with them on Instagram. I am incredibly self-conscious about authors following me because I know I'm a very strongly opinionated person and I don't want to scare them away, but I would really love to be friends with all of my panelists. They were all awesome, all really sweet, all very honest, and I love them. I love them to pieces, and I also love their books to pieces, so I really would love to be friends with all 5 of them. Question number 6 is an author you want to hear more from. Talia Hibbert. She was supposed to be on a panel called Diversifying Romance. I will leave a link to it down below, but she was unable to attend. I don't remember the reason why, but I really wanted to see her. I wasn't able to check out the panel on the day that it was hosted because of the schedule, but I went back and saw it, and it was incredible. The host was stunningly incredible. Like I cannot say enough great things about the panel, and it was also a very insightful panel. I would have loved to have heard what Talia Hibbert would have wanted to say if she had been able to attend it. Question number 7 is something that surprised you. Honestly, the amount of people that were watching, I was not expecting the amount of people that were going to watch my panel specifically. because of the amount of followers that I had. I mean, I'm a very, very small booktuber, and I was kind of scared, but also kind of cool with not that many people watching. I was like, okay, I'm not gonna let a lot of people down if not many people watch. And if I end up being a terrible host, not many people will see. Then, before my panel, when I was doing the guest appearance in the Come Talk Latinx to Me panel, we were talking about numbers and how many people had seen Natalia's other panel, and I was like, oh wow, I hope that many people don't watch my panel. That seems really scary. And then all those people tuned into my panel, and I was freaking out. I felt a lot of pressure to like be professional and try to be as coherent and eloquent as possible, which I definitely did not achieve, as you can probably tell. But then I added on the pressure of the people who were saying in the other panel, the Come Talk Latinx to Me panel, that they were excited about my panel. And when I saw that they were tuning in, I was like, oh my God, I cannot let these many people down. I am shaking, I am nervous, I don't know what I'm going to say, and that was the reason why I did not read the comments of YouTube. I was not highlighting them. I apologize profusely. But I knew that if I was going to read the comments, or if I was going to want to highlight some of the comments, I would stop listening to what the authors were saying, and I would also just panic at the amount of people who were commenting and sharing all their love for the Latinx books that were being discussed. So yeah, that amazed me. And for some reason, it also amazed me that the panelists were so sweet. Like I said, I don't know what I was expecting out of my panelists, but it was not that. They were all so unbelievably kind and sweet and honest and vulnerable. And I was so deeply honored to have been a part of that. It was something that I never thought that I would have the chance to do for a variety of reasons. But it really made me just come out of my shell, and it made me discover things about myself and about how book readers interact with each other that are super valuable lessons to me. And I was just not expecting to get that much of a great and learning experience out of the Social Distance Book Fest. Question number 8 is, how many books did you buy, request from the library, or add on Goodreads? I don't add things on Goodreads because seeing the want to read versus the amount of books that I've read versus the currently reading versus the amount of books that I already own, I keep pointing back, but there are no books there anymore. I feel weird. Anyway, but that combination makes me feel very anxious, so I try not to add books to Goodreads unless that is requested from giveaways. But I really want to check out all the books that were mentioned in the diversifying romance panel and in the middle grade panel. And finally, the 9th question is, what was your experience like, and would you attend again? Oh, I guess I already talked a little bit about my experience, but just to summarize, it was great. It was heartwarming, it was intense, and I loved every single bit of it. And yes, I would absolutely 100% do it again, whether it's me as an audience or if it's me as a host again. I am hands down attending, doing it all over again. I loved how accessible it was. I love the easygoing aspect of it. I know it wasn't necessarily easygoing for the people that were hosting it and that were organizing it, but it felt like it was just such a smooth sailing process. I've never felt so safe in a thing that I was a part of. So yeah. Alrighty, thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments below if you watched any of the panels, what they were, and if you haven't already and you'd like to, go ahead and hit subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!